alleged 600 billion naira extra budgetary expenditures on salary and wages. The decision by the Honorable Wale Oke-led committee was based on the audit queries raised by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation from 2018 till date. Honorable Oke, who met with officials of the Accountant General of the Federation led by the Acting Accountant General, Mr. Silva Koli Abo, described the alleged expenditures as a clear breach of the law. It advised the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation should investigate the sources of the extra budgetary expenditures and reasons for the non-compliance with down financial regulations. It also recommended that failure to justify sources and reasons for the expenditures totaling 641.75 billion naira, the officers in charge should be held responsible. Honorable Oke, however, said that in spirit of the fair hearing, the corporate MDAs would be summoned to explain their own side of the case. The Nigerian Medical Association has called for psychiatric evaluation of governorship and presidential candidates ahead of the 2023 elections. It also said medical tests of the candidates would provide a comprehensive view of the state of the body system of those aspiring to hold political offices in the country. The NMA President, Dr. Uche Ojima, made the call in Abuja while listing the battery of tests that candidates should undergo to ascertain their state of health and fitness for office. The NMA President, who noted that the medical and psychiatrist tests should be made public, said the NMA could be given the responsibility of choosing an independent panel of people to carry out the test. There had been calls for medical screening of candidates to determine their state of health, with many Nigerians arguing over the constitutionality or otherwise of such a move. It will be recalled that the chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Buba Marwa, stoked the controversy in April when he asked political parties to include drug integrity tests as part of the screening process for candidates. Meanwhile, chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has raised an alarm that the commission is currently facing 600 cases relating to the conduct of recent primaries and nomination of candidates by political parties for the forthcoming general elections. The INEC chairman's alarm came as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, inaugurated members of the election petition tribunals, imploring them to shun all forms of temptations and abuse of power while discharging their constitutional duties. According to him, one political party served about 70 court processes on the commission in one day, seeking to compel it to accept the nomination or substitution of its candidates long after the deadline provided in the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2023 general elections had elapsed. Yakubu, however, lauded the judiciary over reduction in the space of conflicting judgments and the number of elections that had been notified in recent times. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has said it will appeal the entire contempt proceedings and committal order against its chairman, Abdulrasheed Bawa, by a court in Abuja. The commission said the ruling was surprising as it creates a wrong impression of the person of the executive chairman of the EFCC as encouraging impunity. The spokesperson of the EFCC, Wilson Iwajare, said this in a statement. A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory in Maitama had convicted Bawa for contempt of court in relation to the anti-graft agency's failure to comply with an earlier order of the court. Justice Chizoba Orji, in a ruling held that Bawa was in contempt of the orders of the court made on November 21, 2018, directing the EFCC to return to an applicant its Range Rover and the sum of 40 million naira. Wajarin, however, said despite the discomfort of the ruling, the commission remains committed to working closely with the judiciary in furtherance of the fight against economic and financial crimes in the country. The Academic Staff Union of Universities says it is considering challenging the federal government in court for paying its members what it described as pro rata payment for 18 days as the October 2022 salaries of academy. The union also said the move by the government is not only an aberration, but a contravention of all known rules of engagement in any contract of employment for academics the world over. President of the union, Professor Emmanuel Shedeke, who stated this after a Marathon National Executive Council meeting, argued that members of the union are not casual workers but intellectuals who cannot be paid on pro rata basis. The union leader, who was silent on whether they would embark on another strike, however, appealed for the understanding of Nigerian students, parents, and other genuinely concerned individuals and groups in the country. And moving on to sports, striker Asisat Oshoala has added a new Super Falcons honor to her ever-growing shelf of laurels after she was honored by the Women's International Champions Cup for her role in advancing women's soccer. The Barcelona forward, who was named to the third annual WICC Best 11, the Colombia and Deportivo Cali forward Linda Cashido were the two footballers nominated for the prestigious award alongside others, recognizing the contributions of Oshoala and the other awardees. The head of the WICC, Susie Fior, said the winners worked tirelessly to champion the women's game, often in spite of great obstacles. Oshoala is Nigeria's most decorated woman footballer in history. In August, she became the first African woman nominated for the Ballon d'Or. She is also the first African woman to play in the English League when she featured for Liverpool and Arsenal, winning the 2015 Women's FA Cup with the Gunners. A record 5-time winner of the African Women's Footballer of the Year award, Oshoala was the first African to score a goal in a UEFA Women's Champions League final.